Hi everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. I'm going to do a little update here. It's not going to be anything real exciting. Of course, I think I always say that in all my videos, but I made a decision change in what I was doing on the last video, and made a couple of changes in here. I guess the best way to get into this is just show you what we're doing. So let's just take a look and see what's going on here, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay everybody, this is a boring view. It's the same one that you saw the last time I took a video here. I did buy some Atlas vehicles here. I have some tanks there that came in from Model Tech Studios that I plan on just putting in this area. But I really haven't had a time to work on this, and I'll show you why, okay? Okay, here's kind of the reason why. I think the last video I did, I was telling everyone that I was going to inventory all my cars and sort them all into the boxes, and I made a big deal about how I was going to make this comprehensive list of cars and locomotives and so forth. Well, I got sick and tired of trying to find the cars for the boxes, so what I decided to do was just put all my boxes back in their boxes, which are all of these containers that are sitting on the floor right here. There's a bunch of them. Can't really see them too well there. But I'm going to keep them down here instead of putting them up in the attic, so that if I decide to sell something or trade something, I have the box there. And I have sorted the boxes out into their respective brands and sizes of cars, types of cars. So that if I need to find a box, I can find it pretty easily once I find the car that goes to the box. Now, what I have done down here to try and make some more room in here is I have put most of my stuff in these, what were rolling carts, which are now pulled out from the layout. I have one there, and I'm trying to back up a little bit here. I have two here, and I have sorted cars and put cars in drawers. Of course, there are still a lot of cars on the layout. Now I'm going to swing around over here. You can kind of see the backs of those containers, that one with the 4 big drawers in it. Anyway, it's got scenery material in it. Then these are Gavin's cars and locomotive, and these are Gavin's cars and locomotives. The one that you see, the new cabinet that you see down there, replaces the old big gigantic white monstrosity that used to sit in here. And it's only about half as wide, maybe a little bit wider than half of the cabinet that was there, which gives me more space. I have Gavin's and the scenery bins here on rollers, so I can move them in and out. So basically, let me get up here and show you what kind of mess I got here. Got my iPad out here for some music, but I got junk all over the place. And yes, the dog stroller, once again, it's going to be famous in most of my videos. That box with the tape all over it is a box completely filled to the top with deciduous and pine trees, which are the same type of pine trees, and plus some Woodland Scenics pine trees that I used on my mountain. Nothing new on top of the layout, and I just skimmed by something there that you probably may have noticed, but we'll get back to that. But this is the mess that I have on the floor right now. Now, the reason all these are out, or at least most of them are out, two things. One is that I've hooked up all that wiring for the reverse loop on the flood loader. All my reverse loop stuff is hooked up. And that leads me to another thing. I'd like to test it, but I don't currently have a DCC system. And we'll get into that in a minute. These 3 wires that are hanging down are 3 turnouts up on top. One is for the siding. Let me get back up there. Well, let me turn around while I'm down here. I did accomplish this. I did get the TV remounted. I haven't got the wires tied up real well under there. But let me get up on top. Again, oh, it's heck to get a little bit older. Anyway, one of those wires controls this turnout here, and the other two control that turnout there and the turnout back over there that goes on, that's basically the siding on the loop. The automatic turnout is that one there. So, in other words, what I'm saying is I have an inner and outer loop here, and those two switches that you see in this picture right here are controlled by two of those wires, and this one is controlled by another one. Those will eventually be hooked to a DS64 and will be run off the DCC system, as are all of the other ones on the layout. I just haven't gotten that far, so hence the wires are still hanging there. Now I'm going to run over here and try and get some light on the subject underneath another part of the layout and show you what else I've been doing. Okay, gang, this is the kind of room that it's allowing me to have under here. I have a real long space of empty wall space. Plus I've been able to clear my sandblaster. I put it out in the shed, and other than those paper boxes down there that don't have any cars in them at the moment, I will fill those back up with some of my cars. Gavin put all of Gavin's boxes back in his white boxes there back in his bag, get those off the floor and get them somewhere. But anyway, way back there in the corner, you can't see it too good, there's a couple Axion boxes standing back there that are customer new boxes. They're our stock. I'm going to be able to put all of those boxes when they come in along that back wall back there and have access to them here in the garage instead of carrying them back and forth to the storage facility in the back, which will keep me out of the weather and them out of the weather. But to get back to the layout, let me back up here. One of the things that you've probably noticed in me skimming and scanning and crawling around here on the floor, there is my whole Digitrack system laying on the floor. Not because it's broken, but because I am finally replacing it with an NCE system. The NCE system potentially sits right there. There is the panel for it, and there is a cab for the system. And that is the power supply down there. Now, for the bad news. I hooked it up. I got everything working. I had consisted some locomotives, run some stuff with it. I'm real happy with it, with the throttle. Real happy with the throttle response, the ease of use of it so far. I'm not an expert on it yet or anything, but I did enjoy using it, and I have used one in the past. Unfortunately, oh, and another thing I did was, you'll remember that I had my little track lights here, my green track light for when the track is functioning and the red light for when I have a short, going through my DCC specialties board to my track power. I got those mounted up there. I got my DCC specialties board mounted underneath. I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. And I got all my wiring cleaned up and moved this bracket down so that it would fit my NCE box with the power supply on top of it. Well, unfortunately, I ran it for a while and I had the layout on and off for a couple of days, and I came in and turned it on and I had no lights whatsoever up there on track power. So my first thought was that my DCC specialty board got fried or melted or something happened, and no, I kept tracking the power back to the booster itself for the NCE, and I had no power coming out of the booster. Went online to try and figure out why, went through the book trying to figure out why, no information out there, so it must be not something that's very common. Finally was able to get a hold of NCE today, and it turns out apparently something fizzed inside of the booster, and I'm not really sure what, and I'm not really sure why or anything, but it's not really a big deal. It's just something that occasionally happens. I feel fortunate that I took the system and had it here on my layout and had it go bad, better than a customer getting it and having it go bad. But NCE was really nice about it. Matt at NCE, I spoke to him, and he was pretty confident that something gave out inside the system. They said, just mail it back to us, we'll fix it and send it back to you. So I'm looking forward to that little downtime for the layout. But nevertheless, we don't need to dwell on that. But anyway, it looks like I'm going to like the NCE system so far, other than this little setback. And now we're going to go underneath the layout, and I'll show you what else I've been doing and give you another explanation. Okay, gang, here we are, a little cramped space down here, but once again, here's all my DS64s, which it took a little bit of reading to try and figure out how to get them to work with the NCE system. Turned out not to be a big deal. All I had to do was take this wire right here, connect it to track power right here, so that the DS64s receive their command signals from the track instead of from LocoNet, which meant that I removed all the LocoNet cables from the tops, the looping LocoNet cables from the tops of the DS64s. Yes, I did get them all daisy chained together here so that they all receive signal. I did test all of the turnouts. They all do work. Before the NCE system pooped on me, but everything did work. I was happy with it. And here is my DCC Specialties On Guard up here, protecting my locomotives and so forth. And it does a very good job. I'm very impressed with that little piece of equipment right there. On down the way there, that punch block that you see down there, I hope you can see it. All that punch block down there does is distribute wire around the layout. So if I want to take lighting or something around to the other side, over in there somewhere, I just have to take a wire down there and punch it on that block, and it'll take it around the other side of the layout. And there's also one that comes out this direction and goes down this way and around the end and over there behind the once again famous doggy stroller to do the same thing. So if I need sound over there, I send it. If I need power over there, I send it. If I need anything over there, I just can send it around the layout over to there. It's just a 25 pair cable that goes over there. Here's the back of the NCE panel. I got almost all this wire under here straightened up and tied up, with the exception of this little timer here, which is connected to my DS64s. What we finally found out on DS64s at the fairgrounds is what Digitrax had originally told us to do, and that's if we don't want arbitrary flipping of the turnouts when we turn them on. By the way, nice shot of my shop vac. Is if you don't want them arbitrarily flipping when you turn the layout on, they suggested leaving power to the DS64s all the time so they don't lose their mind. And lo and behold, we've left them plugged in and they haven't lost their mind. So apparently they're like the rest of us. They need food all the time to retain their memory. Anyways, that's about it under here. I just wanted to kind of show you guys how the wiring was set up and how I've cleaned up the wiring and everything. By the way, my little sound unit for the grandkids is in that little holder that's down there with the little loop of cable. And I made that cable short on purpose so they can't drag it all around the layout. They have to actually stand there to use it. But anyway, all of this stuff is set up. I also moved my my trouble light, that one right there that's shining into the camera, over here to the front and hung it on a hook in the front. And then I'm going to put new, well, I don't, not new, because I already have skirting made up, but the skirting is going to go on this board here somewhere, at some point on this board. And I'm not really sure. It's going to be dictated by the thickness of those big, thick, the boxes down there. That kind of sounds dumb, huh? Boxes. But that's what they are, boxes of boxes. That will dictate how far out the skirting is going to go, but I'm going to try and make a conscious effort to put skirting back up around this layout and make it look at least halfway neat. So anyway, as I pan around trapped underneath here, not much happening here. Just got stuff organized back into this little cabinet like I told you before. My NCE book and my little meter down there that I was doing my testing with, my soldering iron. I've soldered all of these connections so that I don't have any trouble with loose wires or anything. I was able to eliminate several power supplies off my power strips here by consolidating some wiring that I had already done previously. So anyway, I think I'll go back up on top and we'll take a look and see what else is going on. Not much of anything, but I'll show you what else. Okay, here we are on top again. When I went through the drawers, I went through my box of vehicles, and these are the ones that I sorted out from the 40s and 50s vehicles into vehicles that were somewhat, not really more modern, but the more little bit more modern ones than the old 40s and 50s vehicles to go with most of these vehicles I have out. And at some point in time I will go ahead and put them out on the layout, but just not at this time. When I sorted cars, I did pick some of the cars that had been out on the layout and put back out on the layout, so I just have them sitting here. Not very exciting. I did put some on a siding up here. I had to put everything back, basically back on the track for the most part, so that I could test the NCE system. And I did get some locomotives and stuff to run here, like I said. I would like to show you guys, or I would like to have done a video on new Kato blue bonnets there, but unfortunately we have no power. They do run extremely well, and the only reason I decided to get those is because I have a set of the yellow bonnets to go with it. No really other purpose. Gavin and I still have a very big clog of locomotives and cars down here that I was trying to sort. And when I actually went into quitter mode, I don't like being a quitter, but I guess I just got tired of trying to find all the stinking boxes for all that stuff. So anyways, I thought I'd rather run trains, and I get out here to run trains and I have a little problem, but that's okay, we'll get it straightened out. But anyway, guys, that's what's going on the ACT at the time. And when I get the NCE back, I'll do a little more comprehensive thing on how I hook that up and how it works. So anyway, that'll be about it for today, guys. Not much else happening in here. So I think that'll be it for this one. Well, there you go, guys. Quite a mess in here, as you can see. Just a small fluke with the Power Pro. I had it working, and maybe I did something to it. I'm not really sure what happened, as I explained, but I'm sure that I'll get it rectified. In the brief time that I had the cab working, I really liked the control of the locomotives and stuff, but we'll get into that again once I do get the box back and they've repaired it, and I can get everything back and running again. But anyways, I'm glad you guys came and took a look at the video. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.